Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde, and welcome to EFA137 on this Thursday, August 6th. O.P.M. So, equality for all, O.P.M. Other people's money. And I heard this analogy the other day when a peer of mine was talking about it, and we were discussing things, and O.P.M. came out, and I said, O.P.M., he goes, other people's money. And it ties into, if you remember the old adage from Margaret Thatcher, who had talked about it's always a great idea when you're using other people's money. Socialism, right? She was talking about socialism and that kind of stuff. And a lot of these programs out there is O.P.M, other people's money. And I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna add a word here, and I'm gonna add a word of institutions, right? Institutions. And I'm gonna talk about this in a sec because I just thought about this. So when I say about other people's money, out there right now we have financial programs, we have landlord programs, we have business programs. All these programs are out there. And these financial programs in Canada serves, for example, their financial programs get $2,000 a month. Some countries get $2,500 a month, et cetera, whatever the things are. But there's a lot of good programs out there. These programs are made for mothers and fathers and students and single adults, right? There's a whole vast of individuals that this is made for. But the problem is, like a lot of other people's money programs that we have out there, this is supposed to be for productive, producing, paying their dues members of society. That's what that is made for, these programs. Not for those that are sitting in their underwears in their basement or whatever. They're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. They're social mediating. They're playing games. They're doing everything. It's just mind-boggling. Like there's a system out there right now that is other people's money system. And I'm going to get further into this. Landlords. A friend of mine, a couple of people are talking about landlords, how landlords should be given breaks, and a lot of great landlords. I've talked about this on previous EFAs, and people know this. A lot of people speak about this. Some great landlords out there, but the landlords also have responsibility, which I talked about on previous EFAs. They also have insurance and mortgages and etc. Right? And these landlords, my business peer was saying, like they should be given more breaks because right now in Ontario they're opening the gates. Now the landlords can go after those that are not paying, so you can do eviction notices. What is it, over 6,000 in Ontario? Eviction notice already in progress, delays or whatever, but it'll be more, right? So they open it, and people say, well, this landlord should not do that. They should basically give breaks and that kind of stuff. My question to them was, how much percentage of your revenue, of your business, are you willing to give up? All right, what is the percentage of revenue from your business, from your wallet, from your money that you're ready to give up? When you ask that question, crickets, like literally crickets. Why? Because as long as it's other people's money. So why should the landlords be penalized? Why should the banks be penalized? Right? The whole pandemic problem affected everyone, including banks, including everything, right? Some businesses are making tons of money out there and so on and so forth, you know, and that's life. That's like, but those that got affected, those that were affected, those that had given handouts, if it wasn't for the banks, if it wasn't for a lot of things wouldn't happen. And right now the banks are controlling even more, and those that do business will tell you how very restrictive banks are. And I'm assuming it's for a reason, right? So what is the percentage of your business, of your livelihood, of your money, of your fund that you're ready to give up? And when you're willing to answer that question, then start dictating other people's money. Right, and in there, I wrote the word landscaping. The amount of people out there that are working on the system, like their landscaping is immaculate. They're working from home people, the people that like the amount of landscaping. That's why people say we can't find wood out there. Yeah, because everybody's doing their own garden work and yard work and etc. and so forth. A lot of it is on other people's money, right? Work at home, other people's money. And there's two pots out there, right? You got your two pots. There's one pot out there that it just doesn't matter. It keeps going in. And even though the money just flows through, the money always comes from the tax base and fee base, etc. There's another system which is tied to businesses. If you don't produce, if you don't earn, if you don't stay productive and etc. and so forth, it stops. It stops bleeding. That goes to bankruptcies and all that. This system never goes to bankruptcy. They just go more after that system for more money until they fail, and then they have to downsize their system. And that's a system, right? That's how it always works. So, and I've always said these programs out here, instead of going to the people, it should go to the businesses straight down, because it's all connected, right? There's been a lot of great podcasts out there. There's a lot of great individuals out there, and there's programs supposedly that are starting where it's going to go to the businesses and they're going to feed down, and that creates jobs and stimulates. Like the basics are out there, but there's ways of doing it. But again, there's people making decisions that are not business people, right? Or they don't have enough business people in their realm to make these kind of decisions. And this is why I wrote landscaping. And finally, institutions. I remember running institutions. I remember one of the programs, and there's individuals out there, like, you would read their rap sheet and you would vomit. You'd vomit the vile and disgusting life forms they are and what they've done to souls on this planet. But those institutions, some of those individuals, and the programs here, ombudsmen and their lawyers, and the whole 9 yards, right? The cavalry would come in if a chocolate bar would be missing. The same individuals, and this is the other people's money's mindset. There's groups out there, as long as it doesn't affect them, as long as it doesn't touch them, they can do whatever the HELL they want. They can extract as much they want. They can target as much they want. They can, like inmates, some of these inmates, like I talked about, but one of their chocolate bars will go missing. You would get 100 phone calls, and it's mind-boggling. But that's the same type of mindset of other people's money. Different levels of it, right? There's different levels of it. There's people, as long as it doesn't affect them, but they can take from you. As long as it doesn't cost them, but they want to receive, right? And this other people's money system, they all fail. They all fail. Like, they all eventually fail, whether in business or whether in government or whether in like communism, etc. Eventually they fail, right? And there's a lot of people right now attacking our capitalist system that were funded by the capitalist dollars, right? The other people's money programs out there, there's a lot of systems out there that were created and funded by the other people's money. And now they're the same ones that are tearing apart the fabrics of our nations. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA137.